Coming up on Work It Out with Lauri, today we're covering the top 3 signs that you're working for an imposter leader. Howdy, WBP crew. Welcome to Work It Out with Lauri, the no-nonsense show for anyone navigating workplace bullying, chaos, or straight-up dysfunction. I'm Lauri Lilly, your host. I'm here to help you make sense of all the drama you're experiencing at work.
And I'm Kosmo Esplin, Sir Showrunner and your backstage guide, directly providing Lauri with your questions and workplace dilemmas so you get the practical solutions you need. So what do you say? Let's work it out. Welcome back, everyone, to a brand new episode of Work It Out with Lauri. Today we're going to do something a little bit different. We're going to introduce a new sort of subgenre or branch of the Work It Out with Lauri podcast. Today we're introducing WBP Basics, and we're going to cover some general topics. And here to talk about some of those broad subjects is workplace anthropologist Lauri Lilly. Welcome back, Lauri.
Thanks, Kosmo. Happy to be here.
Yes. So what do you want to kind of achieve with this WBP Basics, these WBP Basics episodes that are going to be kind of quick hits, and they're going to cover a variety of topics. So what do you want to accomplish within that?
Great question. The goal here is to make sure we're all speaking from the same page, right? That we all have basic understandings of some of the concepts that I introduce and that may be out there in the bullying community. I have some that are unique to me and the way that I speak to them and have defined them. And I think it's really important that we have clear definitions because this is going to help people who are being bullied actually understand more about what they're experiencing at work.
Very well put. So what is our inaugural topic on this WBP Basics series? I think that it's one that you know well, and a lot of people who followed your work know well, imposter leadership. So let's talk IL, Lauri.
I love it. Imposter leadership is a topic that you'll hear me discuss on a regular basis, and it's covered in great detail over on the LinkedIn community if you're there. But let me first define it. I don't think I've ever heard the term imposter leader. That is a term that I defined and I created.
A Lauri Lilly original.
That's right. On LinkedIn or any site where there's talk about leadership, you might hear about ineffective leaders, insecure leaders, unethical leaders. And I found that the term imposter leader is the most accurate. Because
you just had to take it one step farther, didn't you?
Just one step farther because of the fact that imposter leader encompasses all of the different adjectives and descriptions that we hear about leaders. Let's talk about the definition of an imposter leader. An imposter leader, simply put, is someone who is the wrong person in the wrong role. That's fairly simplistic, so I'm going to go a little bit further, and I actually have a definition here that I'll read, and then we're going to talk about how do they get into these roles, and then those 3 signs. So first of all, an imposter leader is someone who has made their way into a leadership role, often through dishonorable, unethical, and unsavory methods, including but not limited to strategic brown-nosing, nepotism and cronyism, stealing credit, lying, cheating, manipulation, blame-shifting, politicking, bloviating, scheming, faking charm, charisma, and bullying and abusing others. Phew!
Whoa. A lot of adjectives, a lot of words.
Whoa, that's right.
Not great words either.
No, imposter leaders are really quite dangerous actually to organizations because when you hear me talk about bullying, I often say without imposter leadership at the helm, bullying cannot exist because they sponsor it. Imposter leaders either directly or indirectly sponsor bullies and the bullying and abusive tactics and methods that are used. So let's talk about sign number 1.
Top 3 signs today we're talking about that you have an imposter leader.
That's right. The very first sign is, are they actually completing and accountable for the responsibilities within their role? And when you think of leaders, they're supposed to be setting strategy and a vision leading the team, getting rid of barriers, busting through, holding other teams accountable, and implementing boundaries on behalf of your team so that you're not overworked, right? All of these really positive qualities, and you can see them. True leaders, you can see them active. You can see them advocating for your team. You can see them communicating with strength. You can see their work. You can see their actual deliverables because you are typically working on achieving what they've set out for you to achieve. One of the key obvious signs that you're working for an imposter leader is that they're not doing any of that. They are actively working on usually a role or two below them. A subpoint to this point is often imposter leaders are micromanagers. They don't have the skill set to actually achieve the objectives of their role. And so what they do is they defer to their highest level of skill, which is often several roles below them. Several, not just one typically. So you'll see them down in the weeds doing very task-oriented, transactional type of work. Spreadsheets, basic tracking of work, air traffic controlling assignments, things of this nature.
Am I an imposter leader because I love Excel spreadsheets?
You are not.
Concerning.
You are a leader in training, Kosmo, and actually already a leader. I'm proud of you.
Well, thank you.
All of that to say is you can see it because they're in the weeds. They're up in your business all day long, constantly tracking, watching, nitpicking, and that's why imposter leaders often become bullies, right? Because they don't have the chops for their actual role. So they're down in the weeds in other people's roles. And this is where their survival kicks in, their insecurities kick in, and they're going to suppress any threat to them being found out that they don't have chops. Watch for anyone who you're not seeing those transformational activities. You're not feeling that vision. They're just up in your grill.
So what's sign 2 then?
The second sign that you're working for an imposter leader is, are they listening? And then are they taking action? So if you're on LinkedIn, I can't even tell you how many memes. It is one after the other. Great leaders care and they listen, Yes, they do. But then what's the second part of that is they take action. It doesn't do any good for someone to have a one-to-one with their leader and say, I'm experiencing these serious challenges with my role. And it's an escalation point. And the leader nods and oh gosh, it's this performative empathy, right? I understand and I'm really sorry this is happening. And they're listening all right. They're listening loud and clear. And then they do nothing. You're waiting for them to take action. They usually say they're going to take action. Then what they do is they take the information you shared and they start asking questions. And now they're having a one-to-one with another person. This other person is bringing information. And now, oh, that's interesting. And now they're just tootling around, taking information. I call them chief gossip officers. That's what they really should be.
CGOs.
Put them up at the top as a CGO and at least be honest about what they're doing. These people do not have positive intent to actually break down barriers and help the work to get done. They're looking to actively trip you up. And they do that by just listening to all of the drama and all of the challenges. They're kind of laughing about it. Like, let's see how they're going to make their way through this issue.
Probably that haughty, classy laugh too.
Yes, right. Right. It's very dark when you see it happen. And I've experienced this in my career too many times to count, where it's this performance. They're putting on a performance and all they're doing behind the scenes is just gossiping. Imposter leadership, the alarm bells should be going off left and right.
All right, pretty clear indicator that you have an imposter leader there. What's the third and final sign?
The third sign is pretty basic, and it's a feel, right? What does your environment feel like on a daily basis? Does it feel chaotic, unorganized, very emotional? Is it emotionally charged with not positive vibes, not excitement, but a lot of frustration and anger simmering below the surface? Is there structure to your work? Or are you just all running around like crazy people and everyone is gossiping about one another and everyone's gossiping about the leader and everyone's gossiping about everything? This is not a type of an environment that a true leader would create. True leaders are looking to create environments where work can be completed in a structured manner that's organized, where collaboration is easy, and where there's psychological safety, right? Where people can speak openly about challenges and they're worked through, and they might not be pleasant, right? There can be disagreements, but there's no retaliation or punishment for that. If you're working in an environment that is just highly charged, everyone is working to the bone, you have way too much work to do. It's beyond unreasonable, and there's absolutely no communication. It feels like every email is going into a black hole and your leader's nowhere to be found. You have an imposter leader. True leaders show up. They show up and they show that they care about you. They care about the work getting done and everyone collaborating in a healthy way. And they care about you all achieving the goals and finding a way to get you there in the least painful way possible.
There you have it. Just as you know, when you have a true leader at the helm, there's kind of an abstract feeling that you have there with someone who's a true empathetic leader. The same is true of someone who is an imposter leader. You can just feel it backed up by the evidence that you've provided.
That's right, Kosmo. I'm going to have a lot more to say on this topic, but this is supposed to be a quick hit, and I think we're already a little long. But trust me, there are dozens of signs that you have an imposter leader. These are 3. Do a quick check on these 3. Do you have someone who's doing the work? Do you have someone who's taking action on behalf of the issues that you bring to the table? And what does your overall workplace environment look and feel like on a daily basis? You tell me. Drop it into the comments. Would love to hear from you. If you have an imposter leader, I hope you don't. I hope you have a strong leader.
And if you do, then check out Lauri's resources on LinkedIn, Substack, and continue to follow this podcast. Thank you, Lauri, for providing those top 3 signs you have an imposter leader in 10 minutes.
Thanks much, Kosmo. See you next time. Thanks so much for tuning in to Work It Out with Lauri. If today's episode hit home at all, please share it with someone who needs it. And please remember, you deserve to work in peace. Oh, and hey, if you're listening and you're currently a target of a workplace bully and you need help, please feel free to schedule an initial consult with me. It's completely free and completely confidential. I've got your back.
And remember to follow this podcast on YouTube, Spotify, and Substack. Plus, send us your story or your question at workplacebullyingproject.com.
We'll see you next time, and we'll work it out together.